friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. I've been contacted by a lot of folks over the years regarding some kind of sponsorship or promoting their product, etc. and so forth. I've either turned them down or ignored them or something. I just haven't been interested. And I gotta be perfectly honest with you on the sponsor I'm about to tell you about. I'm not overly enthused to even have a sponsor, period. Why? I like my independence. You know, there's a young man that started up his own business, and I'll tell you what, he's done, you know, some remarkable things, I think. And that's why I decided to more or less cave in and give in to the sponsorship idea. You know me, I try to be as honest as I can be. I'll be the first one to tell you, this isn't going to make me rich. In fact, my part of this on the sponsorship is pretty minimal. You can believe what you want, but you know, I'm not going to be getting a huge kickback or anything. I'm actually doing it more to help the young man. He's taken a pretty big step, a pretty bold step, and because he's done that, I kind of admire that, and I think, you know, hey, everybody needs a leg up. And so that's what I'm really doing here. I'm just giving him a leg up. So, all right, what is the channel sponsor? The channel sponsor is Guitar Authority. And you can see their website right here. Let's just, matter of fact, let's just zoom in on that. That's what their website looks like. You can just type in guitarauthority.us. And I'll put a link in the description, and I'll also you know, have it on the screen there so that you can see it. What he's done is he has gone out on his own and made his own label on strings. I'm not at liberty to tell you who his manufacturer is, but I will tell you what I can tell you, and that is it's a U.S. company. These strings are U.S. made. These strings are high quality strings. The deal I made with him is if I like the strings, I'll promote it with a video. If I don't like the strings, I'm not going to say anything negative about them. Nobody will ever know about this. So you'll never see this video if I don't like these strings. So here they are. Let me just tell you what these particular ones are. I could have chosen pretty much any strings I wanted. He's got several different sets, and you'll see them on his website. He doesn't have a huge selection yet. I'll just be frank. His selection is pretty small right now, but you know, you got to start somewhere. This particular type of string, though, I think should suit just about 80% of the players out there, if not more. Personally, I think it should suit 100% because I think this is the kind of string that most people should be using. These are phosphor bronze. These are, now this particular set I picked was the lights. These are 12 to 53s. These are called the Natural Series. These, as I told you, are made in the USA. You can see on the back here of the different, I'll try to hold it still there for a few minutes. You can pause your video if you'd like to see it longer. These are made with what I understand a higher carbon core, which is a stronger wire on the inside. It's a stiffer wire. You're going to get that little crisper sound. That's what the selling point of these strings is. In other words, it's a good set of strings. They're not going to stretch as much. You know, so there's just a lot of advantages with this type of string. Now, I'm telling you all this, and I haven't even opened a package yet. I have never heard them. I have never put them on my guitar. So let's do a before and after. Here's my guitar. The strings that are on my guitar are old. You know, trying to be conservative, a minimum of 5 years old. I don't play guitar, so it just sits around. And I also will tell you the story because I know most people watching my channel want to know what I've got here. Well, this is the very, very first guitar I ever built. I learned a real good lesson on this. One that I haven't forgot. It was hanging just like this through the hole here. I had it hung on a wire through these holes as I was painting oil varnish on it. This is an oil varnish finish. It's the old style finish just like you would use on a Stradivari violin. And as I turned around to dip my brush in the oil varnish, and I hear it go kapow! The wire hook I had it hanging on straightened out. The guitar hit the concrete floor and was on its way back up, and I turned back around and I grabbed it by the neck on its way back up. I thought I saved it. I thought I got lucky. But it cracked it right down through here and right down through here. And therefore, it's got a little bit of a dip in this area here. You can probably see that. But it hasn't gotten any worse in all those years. I mean, 1986. It's the same as it was then. So it's a strongly made guitar. I didn't even take it apart or try to fix it. I just glued it in place like it was and strung it up and been playing it ever since. It's got a pretty good sound, but again, keep in mind these strings are pretty darn old. Pushing my camera all the way back on its mount so that it'll be in the same relative place. I'm going to put my knee against my table here so that I'll be in the same relative place. And that way, when I put the new strings on, everything will be the same. You can tell it's dead, or at least I can tell by the sound it's dead. That's what it sounds like. That's the before. I am going to do a little bit of a setup on it because I figure if I'm going to take the strings off of it, I might as well clean it up and do that too. And I realize that's changing a little bit, but it's only changing the playability. I'm going to try to get the action a little bit lower by cutting the saddle down just a little bit. So if anything, it's going to hurt the sound more than it will help it because you're lowering the saddle. So the next clip you'll see will be me playing it with the new strings. I've got the new strings on the guitar. While I was working on the guitar, it occurred to me I forgot to mention a couple of things. Number one, as I mentioned, there's no real affiliation between me and the fellow that started up the Guitar Authority Strings company, but I didn't tell you that he was a former customer. He did bring me a guitar or two in the past for me to work on. So that's the only relationship we have, is that I've met him before and that, I did work on an instrument or two of his, but there's no affiliation other than that. Let's play it for you now with the new strings, and I've got the camera pushed all the way back. I got my knee against my table leg, and so everything should be pretty similar. Clean sound. I don't hear the deadness that I heard before. Now keep in mind that was just the old strings. Very clean sound, very clean sound. My immediate comments would be, I don't notice a huge difference between these and other top brand phosphor bronze strings. I'm just being perfectly honest with you. But you got to keep in mind a couple of things. Number one, these are definitely made in the USA. These are also, a high carbon core, which, like I said, they shouldn't stretch as much, and they, should have a good, crisp, clean sound. Being phosphor bronze, that's a good, long-lasting string. He is not into the coated strings yet, but I think he may get into that at some point. Guitar picker, as you can tell, but I do, pick around on it a little bit, just enough that you can hear it. Well, here's the deal, friends. Like I said, I'm not going to get rich on this deal one way or the other. He's a young fella starting up a company on his own. I know you're good people. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you try these strings out. I see no negatives whatsoever. I also like the packaging. The packaging is classy. And what I also like is this. Look at those. You don't need your glasses to tell which one of those is which string, you know. I like that. That's really nice. I see no negatives whatsoever. If you're inclined to help a guy out, I would suggest that you go to his website and order those. I'll have a link in the description that you can click on. My understanding is if you use the code RSW, the promo code RSW for Rosa String Works, then you'll get a little better deal and I'll get my little bit of a kickback there. So I thank you for your time. I hope you'll support the man and help him get his new business off the ground.